Game 1 of the NBA Finals was a Boston fire show. Dominating for all but 10 minutes of the game, the Celtics pretty easily took a 1-0 advantage over the Dallas Mavericks. A key player and the biggest story from Game 1 was Kristaps Porzingis, who came off the bench and dropped 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks in only 20 minutes of game time. Kristaps' impact on the court was immediately noticeable and a huge reason for Boston's utter dominance through most of Game 1. His 20-point performance made him only the 4th bench player in NBA history to score 20 or more points in their finals debut, and I haven't even mentioned his defensive impact. Porzingis made life a living hell for both Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and the entire Mavericks team. Nobody could get anything easy at the rim. He was a switching nightmare the entire game. With the 7-2 Latvian back on the court, the Celtics looked near unbeatable, and I want to break down what made his game so impressive and so dominant. Immediately upon entering the game, Porzingis' defensive impact became apparent and palpable. With Boston only leading by 5, Luka tries to attack in the pick and roll, but Porzingis' 7'2" height I just mentioned means Jones is basically ineffective in the roll and Luka can't attack the rim. So he has to drop it off after the pump fake, and Porzingis is right there for the contest on both the fake and the actual layup attempt by Jones. The height and defensive impact was a huge reason why Boston started running away the second he entered the game, and this impact was felt on both sides of the ball. Look here, early into the game, how spaced the Celtics are. Having Porzingis out there at the 5 with a bunch of lengthy wings and Derek White means the Mavericks can't crowd Lively or Kleber in the paint, and this was something Boston, and specifically Jaylen Brown, took advantage of all game. Here, Porzingis misses the open 3, but this wasn't something Dallas could rely on, and as we'll see later, Porzingis was quick to punish the Mavericks if they ever gave him the opportunity again. Only a bit over a minute later, Porzingis gets the ball at the 3-point line again, but this time, Lively is giving absolutely zero space. That space-oriented lineup I was just saying Boston loves to play is working its full magic here again. Kleber has a foot in the paint to help, but the second Porzingis goes left, he starts slowly shading back out to Jaylen Brown, and even when Porzingis slips right by Lively, Kleber's too scared to fully commit and leave Brown open. So it's an easy dunk at the rim for Kristaps. Here, just after that play, on the other end of the ball, Porzingis' height means he can play help and watch the lob at the exact same time, deterring Dallas' favorite play from being able to happen. But when Hardy decides to go up with it, Porzingis is just too tall for him and the shot is no good. Then down the other way again, Kristaps can immediately attack the mismatch with Josh Green on him. Lively has to help out and Brown starts shading the dunker spot. Maybe a slight flop or an actual hit to Josh Green later. Kristaps can just toss this little mid-range jumper over his head and it is in. While Horford certainly allows Boston to space 5 out as well, Kristaps' ability as a tertiary scorer on this team could not go underlooked. It'll be interesting to see if he continues to be a matchup nightmare for Dallas as the series goes on, or if Kid has a plan in place to slow him down. As of right now though, he looks like a living hell for all of Dallas' defense. Porzingis was doing all this scoring while also slowing down the Mavs greatly here and immediately diffusing Dallas' schemes for his scoring. Like here, switching early so the Mavs can't attack him with the pick and roll. His defensive IQ and quick thinking means he's always ready to guard the rim. Less than a minute later in transition, Gafford is scared of the drive so he begins to dive to the basket before remembering why Porzingis was the first unicorn in the NBA. But it's too late, and that lethal spacing ability I was talking about is on full display here as Porzingis sets a 30-foot three-pointer in movement. Dallas immediately tries to respond by attacking what should be a mismatch with Kristaps on Kyrie, but the height and length of Porzingis means he can all but have a foot in the paint and still block Irving's pull-up mid-range, igniting another Boston fast break and jump shot. To end the quarter, Josh Green is on a collision course with Porzingis in the fast break, and even at the moment I was thinking, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. The Green still tries for the dunk, and Kristaps gets a clean hand on it, and the Celtics walk into the second quarter up 17 points. Porzingis had 11 points in the 7 minutes he played in the first quarter, and his defense continually made Dallas' life a living hell, as I continue to say. Heck, even his offense did that too. He was straight up the best player for the Celtics in the first quarter and dominant the entire time. An impressive part of Porzingis' impact on this game was his patience defensively, and his trust in Boston's defensive system means that Boston rarely made mistakes defensively. Here, on the pick and roll, Porzingis watches Luka, but sticks to Lively the entire time, trusting Horford to leak off Jones and help if needed, so when Luka goes for the lob, it comes up empty, and a foul bails out Dallas, but they're not going to be able to rely on the plays they've been going to all postseason with this 7-2 demon in the paint. This patience and awareness is a key reason why Boston is such a dominant defense. With so many talented defenders and more importantly, veterans with a bit more game knowledge than some of Dallas' players, Boston's scheming has made one of the most electric offensive players ever look lost out there. Later in the second quarter, Dallas puts Porzingis into the pick and roll again, but Kristaps' willingness to live and die by Washington's three-pointer works out for them here. Kristaps crowding the paint here disrupts Luka's usual flow he gets into for the pick action, and with 3 men in the paint, he has no choice but to settle for a PJ3. Switching back to offense, unless it's Lively or Washington on Porzingis, the Mavericks are just too small, so Kristaps can just push around the defense like he does here with Jones, and even through a good contest, Porzingis can just squeeze through for an easy mid-range shot that's cash. I think people forget because he was injured, but the Celtics have 2 of the better scoring wings in the NBA, and also have a 7-footer who was hitting jump shots before it was fully normalized. I mean, only a minute later, it's a similar situation with Josh Green on Porzingis now, so he just backs him down for a minute, starts to drive like he did against Lively earlier, then just stops and pops up for mid-range, but Porzingis is just far too tall for it to matter that Green gets a good contest, and it's cash again. The Celtics being able to default to their 7-footer for easy shots anywhere on the court felt like a 2K cheat code brought to life during the game. It was once again a huge reason why the Mavericks stood no chance of slowing down Boston's electric offense. I mean, look here towards the end of the quarter, Porzingis catches it deep and just heaves it up and in for this just ridiculous three-pointer from 30 feet again. Although Porzingis slowed down offensively for the rest of the game, only scoring here on a driving dunk on Doncic, which still was pretty timely, he still had a huge impact on the game. Like here, keeping Porzingis outside on the three-point line means Tatum has a super easy path to the rim with no Lively to meet him at the basket. Here again, Porzingis' shooting ability means Lively can't help Washington at the rim versus Drew, and he just straight up bullies PJ for an easy layup. Last example I want to show, this comes from the end of the second quarter. Tatum gets a screen from Porzingis and then screens for White and gets Kyrie on the switch, meaning Tatum can get an easy entry pass and work one-on-one with Irving on him. And Doncic is closest to help, but can't because Porzingis is too lethal an option from that deep, and so it's just an easy path to the rim for Tatum. I'm a big fan of this play defensively here, where he shades off Jones, then denies Luka a path to the rim, quickly then recovers back out to Jones for the jump shot, then on the screen pressures Kyrie really well on the drive here, blocks Jones at the rim after the handoff, and unfortunately isn't there when Tatum gets beat, so it still ends in a Dallas bucket. But man, is it hard to be ahead with Kristaps after that play. One game into the NBA Finals, and it's already apparent why Boston so easily breezed through the regular season and playoffs. Keep in mind, they also played over a month of the playoffs without Porzingis, and if he remains this good on either side of the ball, which he likely will, it's hard to imagine Dallas winning this series. When the trade happened, there were some skeptics, including myself, mainly about the losing Marcus Smart part, but Porzingis has more than proved those people wrong and might be on his way to eternalizing his name, Tatum's, Brown, White, and the whole roster in Celtics history. Or maybe his former running mate and his new band of buddies might have something to say about that. After all, we are only one game in, and the series could go anywhere. But I just wanted to break down how Kristaps Porzingis won the Celtics game 1. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing, as well as checking out some of my other videos on the NBA. And if you agree or disagree with anything I said, let me know down below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys after game 2.